Everybody needs an anchor, something that will hold you down or hold you together when the storms of life are raging. And I was on the beach and I noticed that there was this boat out there and the water was choppy and the waves were raging, and this lonely boat was in the middle of the beach and it didn't go anywhere, even though it moved a little bit back and forth, but it didn't go far. I thought we were going to lose the boat. I thought something was going to happen to the boat, but I realized the boat was anchored, that even though the storm was raging and even though all of these things was happening, that there was an anchor, and it was something that kept the boat together, and it didn't allow the boat to leave, but it kept the boat in place. And many of us need God to be our anchor, that He keeps us in place when things are going crazy in our life, unexpected bills and unexpected deaths, and we're having things happen to us that overwhelms us, and things that happen to us that's out of our control, and things that shake us, and things that move us, and things that bend us in an attempt to break us. And God says you have to have an anchor. You have to be settled in me. You have to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. You have to be rooted and grounded. And I remember for a whole week going out to the beach and looking at this boat. It was a parasail boat, and it was waiting on people that who had enough power or who wanted to go out, and in the midst of the storm or even in the waves, the parasail boat was there waiting on somebody that wanted to get beyond their fear and get beyond the things that they were going through to actually parasail. And one of the young ladies said, I haven't seen this boat do anything all week. And I told her, if you would look up, you can see the parachute, that even though this boat was sitting there for a season and it wasn't doing anything for a season, that when it was time, it was able to be used so that people can parasail and have fun. And maybe you feel like you've been benched and that God hasn't used you, and you just been out there and you seasick and you're tired of seeing people go ahead of you, and you're tired of waiting on things. And maybe God had to have you anchored for a minute because maybe you're too anxious, and maybe you want it too bad, and maybe you need some patience. And God says when it's right, and when the time is right, and when the weather is right, and when the water is right, and when the wind is right, then I'll allow you to pull your anchor up so that you can sail the boat and people can go parasailing. I want to thank God for being that anchor, that He knows when to hold us together, and He knows when to pull us back in, and He knows when to allow us to float and sail, and He knows how to keep us safe in the midst of the storms of life and the things that we face. And He knows when we're ready. He knows what we're capable of, and He knows when we're able to do it. And so don't get mad at God because maybe it didn't happen in your season, and maybe you spent a week, or maybe you spent a month, or maybe you spent a year just waiting. But God says, I'm anchoring you. I'm putting some stuff deep down in you. I'm putting some faith in you. I'm anchoring you. I'm putting some joy in you. I'm anchoring you. I'm putting some peace in you. I'm anchoring you so that when life happens, you're not easily broken, and you're not blown with every wind and every doctrine, but that you have stability, that people can't just tell you anything or give you a false lie or a false prophecy and you believe it just because they can say your name, or just because they can tell you what your car is, or that you're going to get a new house. God says, I'm anchoring you that you'll be able to have sharper discernment and more wisdom in this season. I'm anchoring you that you'll be able to believe me and trust me like never before. I'm glad today that we got an anchor.